Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cleaning Business Mentor Podcast. On this week's episode, I have a very special guest, Angel Sandoval. He is the co-founder of, he actually has many, many hats that he wears. We have the Profitable Cleaner, Power Placing, and USource. Now, Angel is widely known throughout the cleaning community, and I thought he was a perfect guest to bring on the show. The previous episode that we just had, we actually had his partner, James. So welcome, Angel, and thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be on the show today.
No, I mean, hey, listen, hats off to you for anybody listening. I mean, come on. I mean, what you've done and what you're doing, the attention that you're able to get, attention is a good thing nowadays. Being able to get the attention, especially when you have substance to share, is a very good thing. So thank you for allowing me to be here. And hopefully for anybody that's listening, they can message me and say you did better than James. There's officially a competition between
I love that. We all need some healthy competition.
100%.
And I did leave out that Angel is from Houston, Texas. Shout out to Houston, Texas.
Yeah, I live here now, but I'm originally from Juarez, Chihuahua, so I am Mexican, even though I don't look like it. I look like the color of my background right now. Just
That is awesome. That's cool to know. I knew you were Hispanic. I just didn't know your background. So very nice to know. That is
Latino,
so cool.
like Mexican here. Not even Latino. I'm gonna say Mexican because we are probably Latino, but proud Mexican.
Awesome. So I wanted to introduce you to the audience because, well, for a number of reasons. You guys, you and James have been making a huge name for yourself across the industry. I have many friends that attend your events that you guys have been throwing. And yeah, it's had a lot of buzz lately. I've been seeing it, all over social media. I've been told that I need to come out to this event. And
Yes,
I know you guys, I've been watching you guys and listening to you guys. You have an amazing podcast. I see that you guys have been doing just a number of different things within the industry and really empowering a lot of us in the cleaning industry on a whole nother level also, by the way.
Thank you. Listen, when we started this, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't clean. I've never cleaned and I don't plan on ever cleaning. I think we already have enough people that are masters and experts at it. It doesn't get me passionate. What I get passionate about is just people and developing people. I have passions on three things. That's developing people. That's my faith in God, right? That's another thing I'm passionate about. And then the third thing is my business. I love the game of business because at the end of the day, it's a game. And really, I'm really behind the scenes on the events. I love event planning. I've been part of a lot of masterminds. I've paid, $25,000 just to be part of 2 events within the same business. Like I love investing in myself to get experiences. And now we build many profits. And I mean, you should have seen me yesterday. I went to sleep at midnight, almost 1 a.m. because I was just building out my draft 1 of the agenda. And the event's in September. So, the agenda is here ready 7 months before the event even happens, or 8 months before the event even happens. That's how intentional I am about shift change and developing people.
That's awesome. Yeah, your partner James, he did say that. He was like, dude, Angel is a freaking workhorse, like all hours of the night. He said, he'll hear you about hopping off of a Zoom call at like 11:30 p.m. super pumped about somebody he spoke to.
100%.
So,
And I've got the receipts. If anybody wants to see them, I send messages to my team and they're like, bro, don't you sleep? Like, I'll message me go to bed, and I'm like, listen, it's the season that I'm in right now, and
right.
if we want to talk about a topic, I mean, seasonality is something people don't really understand. It's who am I right now? What season have I been through? What is God trying to teach me today to get me to the next season? Because every phase of life requires a different key. It's a different lesson with a different person with a different key. Most people are trying to get through life in the same season with the same key, and it's just a rusty ass key. You can't get to the next door. You know what I'm saying? And so understanding that, when you understand what season I'm in, you're able to get with the right people, learn the right knowledge, let go of the things that no longer serve you, and then take a step forward. A lot of people want to take steps forward, but they don't have a key, they don't have the people, they don't have the skills, and they don't have the soft skills or the lesson that God is trying to teach them in that specific moment. And so, for those listening, the question's simple, what season are you in, man? And even though you might hate it, don't devalue your training ground. Because the one mentor told me that when God gives you something and you're able to trust it with so little, then he can give you what's next. If you can't steward what he's giving you now, or value yourself in the season that you're in, not taking any payment just to take it, not taking just any client, not saying yes to every little thing, but you're able to say no to everything and then just focus on that one season, man, that when people ask us, why are you guys growing so fast when you've never clean? Why do people treat you as experts? I don't see myself as an expert, but I just move very fast.
And I think that's important. I love that you brought up seasonality because I don't think people perceive it like that. They might just think that it's just, one long game together. And I've personally learned throughout my journey, the seasonality, like exactly what you were talking about. I just didn't know that there was a word to it. For me, I just, I called it like a part of my journey. But I love how you phrased it out because that's exactly what it is. I'm more aware now than I've ever been that when things are happening at a certain point in time, like I'm very aware of what's happening, the people that are in my life, and like I can connect the dots now. Like I'm very, very aware of my seasonality and when things
Mm,
are changing and when growth is needed to get to the next level. But a lot of
100%.
entrepreneurs are not aware of such things,
Yep.
and
Yep.
I'm not quite sure. I can't give you an answer as to like what kind of makes me so attentive to that. And mostly it's because like when things happen later on, I see the cause or the purpose.
Mm.
I'll say, oh my God, that was God making room for this, or God was making room for that, even though it was something maybe devastating to me at one point.
And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's what we call like collateral beauty, right? It's
Mhm,
a great movie, but it's like something tragic could happen, but there is beauty on the other side. And
for
if you
sure.
truly, truly, truly trust that God has a plan for you and you're walking in it, no matter what happens around you, it doesn't rock you. It gets you emotional, of course, and you feel it, but it won't stop you because you know that
Mhm.
it's part of the game. It's part of the season that you're in, unfortunately.
For sure. And it makes you stronger also. Like
Sure.
now it makes your skin thicker and obviously much more aware to different situations that can come up in life. But I'm really glad that you mentioned that because for anybody that's listening that might feel like they're stuck at a
Yeah.
certain point in your life, it's just a season. Now what do you do to get from that and get to the next level for sure?
Yeah, and that's why I was saying like I just made a video about it, and I was like, if you're not you're stuck, but if you think of a car that's stuck, right? Like when they get stuck in the mud, what are the problems when it's stuck in the mud? It's the floor, it's the base, it's the type of tires, it's the person driving, and it's the people pushing it out. Those are the four things you got to look at when you're taking a car out of the mud. A lot of us are stuck in mud with a tiny motorcycle, no big tires, trying to carry it out ourselves and trying to drive it and guide it. Can't do that. And so the four things you got to look at if you feel stuck right now is what is my base? What are my foundations? Do I have strong foundations in business, in life, in faith? Because those are my tires. The second one is, do I have a steering wheel and can I actually drive this thing out? Can I drive this out or am I supposed to just run out of the mud and leave that car behind? The third one is, do I have people that can push out the car, or you know how you can hook it from the front?
Mhm.
You can have another big car pulling it. That's what we've done. When we feel stuck, we go to the big players. We go to our mentors. We go, yo, pull me out. You've been here before. And that's why me and James seek fellowship and most importantly, mentorship because they can pull you out of the mud. And then last but not least is who are the people pushing your car out of the mud. So if you look at it I like metaphors like this because then I get to
Mhm.
look at my life and go, oh, I'm not in mud right now. I'm actually in grass. So the foundation's good and I've got tires to get out. I just need somebody to help push right now because my car ran out of gas. Okay, who do I need that can push, right? And so think about it like that. Another metaphor is like a relay, but with yourself. I know you called it a journey, but like
Mhm.
imagine if you were in a 4x4 relay, but every time you pass the baton, you know what a relay is like in the Olympics?
Mhm. Yeah.
And they like pass it on track and field and they grab it. But imagine that the next baton is your future self and you have to finish the race. How would you structure the race so that you could win it, right? Do you put the slowest one in the front? Do you put the fastest one? Are they all fast? What kind of sprint are you running here, right? So it's a relay with yourself, with the future self, right?
I love that. So for those that are listening, how important? Well, and I always talk about mentorship for sure. I'm always talking big on mentorship and having those key players that can help you
100%.
get to that next level. But also in regards to the self growth, how important is that to you? And I know it's extremely important because, like I said, I've heard many great things about the Cleaning Profits event and just how you're very intentional with your speakers and everybody is either an industry expert or someone that's really going to change somebody's life with what they have to say, whether that's in self-development
Yeah.
or just even spiritually. So like how important is that when thinking in terms of business growth?
Well, I think like I learned two things from a lot of mentors, and one of them is you'll never outgrow your business. I mean, your business will never outgrow you. Just let that sink in for a second. Oh, I want to get to 1 million, but I'm only at 500,000. It's not the business. It's not the market. It's not the competition. It's not your cleaners. It's you. If you truly
Hmm.
take accountability on your business will never outgrow you,
I like
that's
that.
something you got to figure out. And again, this is where accountability is important. Because people be like, no, it's my market. No, it's you.
Hmm.
And I'm a big intense in that sense. I take accountability of everything, of every single thing that happens around, because that's on me, right? I'll put myself in that situation. So that's one of the things. And then the second thing is, in order to get better at what you do, you have to get better at who you are. Most people do it backwards. Most people say, I gotta get better at being a businessman to get better at who I am internally. It doesn't work that way. When you're big, you were talking about how are you so aware sometimes or attentive. It's because you're pretty close and you really understand who you are, right? And so when you're better at who you are, you're better at what you do. And so those are two rules that I always find for myself. And personal development is everything. Development is moved into four buckets, in my opinion. It's health, wealth, relationships, and faith. Health,
Health,
wealth,
wealth,
relationships.
relations, and faith.
One of my mentors runs a mastermind called King's Brotherhood, and he calls it the 4D of a businessman, right? The 4D businessman is what it's called. I think if you lack in any of those, you can be successful, but there will always be a hole within you. If you have the money, but you don't have God, you have nothing, right? If you have God, but you don't have money, you're not a good steward of what God has given you, which it makes sense. It's like, what? Like, right? There's a
Hmm.
balance. And so you'll catch me reading the word. You'll catch me working out. I'll go to mass or service every Sunday, right? And then you'll catch me doing business. It's pretty simple. In fact,
Very healthy balance.
you have to. I don't know if there's such thing as like, I know James probably tells you, hey, there is balance. Me and him have different points of views, but that's why we're good partners. I don't
Hmm.
think there's balance. I think, again, back to season. There was a
Hmm.
season where health was number one for me, so it
Right,
would take priority over anything. When I found out I was type 2 diabetics, health took priority, right?
for sure.
Then when I reversed it, I went business. Then when I success business, I went fake because I noticed I had got it out. Now I'm in the season of and then I got married, then I got divorced very fast. So I realized that I didn't understand what a man of God and a man of marriage is, and so relationship was not important. So now I'm in the season of my life where God is like, cool, you learned the lesson of each of them.
Mhm.
You've gotten the key to each season. Now how do you do all four? And so I'm in a season of my life where in order for me to move to the next level, God wants me to keep control of all four and to
I
surrender
like that.
what's next.
I love that. You're right. Not every day is going to be the same or every season. Like you said, something can come up where it might have to be family at the moment. Somebody gets ill, somebody needs you. Could be, like you said, your very own health. And so I do like that. You're right. Not at every given moment do you have to, and it's also kind of impossible trying to equally input the same amount of effort
Yeah.
into each four of those buckets.
Until you optimize. Like now I'm in a season of my life where now I know exactly what how do you reverse diabetes is exactly how you do it. How do you run a successful company? This is what I needed to delegate. How do you always put God first? Always go to mass, always read your word. Okay. Now how do you relationship? So like now I have the full picture, but I can't have the full picture if I never experienced what I went through in the past. Now I can. Now I got the full
Right.
picture. Now I would be ignorant and I would be such a selfish person if I didn't balance all four. Because at this point I've already learned the lessons. I have no lessons to learn. I just gotta do it to then get to the next level.
I love that. Thank you so much. I know people are gonna listen to this and be like, "Damn, like
All I
that
care is
is."
if they say better than James. I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
Just,
drop it in the comments if you
all right.
feel
Comment,
like.
please.
Please, you guys. Oh
But
man, Angel has dropped so many gems within in the very first half of the interview. Thank you so much. You got me motivated. I'm over here ready
good, good.
to.
That's it. So
I'm
now
I'm,
imagine that for two and a
I'm
half
over here
days.
taking notes. Like, no, I
Imagine
know,
that for
and
two and a half days, and we
no, for
rock it.
sure, I know. And let's talk little bit about that. So.
Oh shoot, here we go.
How I know. So tell us how you're involved in the cleaning industry because you said in the very beginning you've never had a cleaning company, don't look toward cleaning. And for so many people that just are getting into this business, or I don't want to, what do I say, this industry rather,
Of course.
they're just thinking, oh, I'm gonna clean houses, I'm gonna clean buildings. They have no idea of just how many different avenues and different businesses and different. It's like a tree, right? Cleaning but we don't really figure that out until about maybe year 2 or 3, until we start networking and meeting people. So yeah, if you could tell us how you got into this industry, what you are doing, and yeah, what you're doing for the cleaning industry, because your business partner, you guys are doing a number of different things,
Yeah.
improving on so many different levels.
We had two separate companies. So I had mine, he had his, and we decided to become partners a while back. Really, what we were is we were an outbound agency for different industries, and we were like, hey, we got a niche down, and he had a few clients in the commercial cleaning space. We really loved their mindset. We loved how they thought about business, and the fact that, like, we just, let's be honest, anybody that can do cleaning and anybody that can run a cleaning company in any capacity is a bad. Like, the things you guys gotta go through is, I don't know if I
Stressful.
yeah, and that's why I'll never claim that I can run a cleaning company. I've thought about it, but I'm like, no, it's not my thing. I would rather be a resource. I would rather use my money to bring them what they need versus for me to go do it. And then now I'm just another one of them. You guys have a lot of community already that you guys can, like,
Right.
bounce off each other. I'll just use my money to bring them together, right? And so we kind of ended up there. So we're like, how do we learn about this industry for real? And he had a podcast called 2 Cents Worth. I had a podcast called Sales Rehab. And we love sales. And we're like, you know what? Let's kill them. Let's come together. And it was definitely a download from God on the Profitable Cleaner. I don't know how we got that name, how no one else had that name, to be honest. And yeah, we just came together, started the podcast. We're like, the best way to learn is go ask. So we started interviewing people just for our own knowledge and to get in the industry. And while we were killing off everything else in the other industries we were working with, and the podcast ended up taking off. We ended up going to another event. I went to the event, I looked it in, and I was like, cool, man. Like, I like that people want the knowledge, and I'm not gonna, like, I don't want to sound arrogant, because I'm not. But I've been to a lot of events, and I saw that event, and I was like, I can do this, and I can do better, because I know,
Mhm.
I can tell I'm very passionate about developing people again. And so was James. So we're like, screw it, let's throw an event. God told us to throw an event. We threw an event. Man, imagine throwing an event when you're not even in the industry, and you're supposed to convince people to come listen to you. You'll be surprised how many people told us the first event, like, I can't buy a ticket because I don't trust you guys. I don't know what you guys are all about. And I said, hey, listen, that's fair. See you on the next one, right? Like, I get it. So we've been having to prove ourselves. I think the first year we called it the statement, because we were there to make a statement. We were there to prove something. Second year, oh no, first year we called it raise your sales spirits and standards, because we needed something that we do. And that's what we do. We raise standards, we raise our spirits, and we raise our sales. Then the second one, we called it the statement, because we were there to put our flag. And that's why now people are telling you about it, because everything in the experience was about making a statement. From the moment you bought your ticket, to the moment you showed up, to the moment you left. And
Mhm.
now it's called the take, because this year, listen, we're gonna take off. If people don't get out of the event saying, oh my God, that was hands down the best event in the industry ever, I will give them their money back. Like, that's how confident and that's how passionate I am about this. It's not about the money, it's about the transformation. But that's kind of how we ended up in the space. Now we play in our mentors are probably like on the 1% of the industry as far as revenue, size of employees go. I play in the softwares, because I was like, if I'm gonna serve the community, I gotta understand the operations, the payment terms, the cost, the labor, right? Loaded labor rates. Like, I'm like, I gotta understand it all. If not, the podcast will die. And
I
so I
love
decided
that.
to join USource and learn. And James became full CEO of our power placing company. And then we all have what is the Cleaning Profits and Profitable Cleaner. So we do that one together with our executive director, Andrea. So I knew the only way was if we dove deep into the industry in areas where people don't know much, which there's a lot of cleaning companies that, like, when I start talking about operations, systems, technology, right, they want that easy versus the right. And so I wanted to learn the right. How do the big players do it? Because, like, one thing that people don't think about, and I'll close out my statement here, is like, have you guys ever thought about what a lot of people do when there's like, how do you say it? When there is, I don't know, February 29th coming up. There we go. February 29th coming up. A lot of people quoted their scope of work from this year without the 29th. And a lot of them have contracts that are renewing from last year going into this year without the 29th in it. So 29th, you still work. I don't know what day it lands on. Let's see if I can pull it up. 29. Yeah, that's a Thursday. That's a working day. Guess what? Your client
Mhm.
expects you that Thursday. Guess what? It's another working day. It's no longer 21 business days. It's 22 business days. You
Mhm.
multiply that one payment by, let's say you have 50 employees, right? Both in resident or in commercial, really. Well, 50
Mhm.
employees times what they pay them. If you didn't put that into your cost and your margin is 8 to 12%, you just lost 1 to 2%. Crazy
Wow.
things that I would have never known if I didn't work here and learn from the founder. So that's why we decided to move myself from Denver to Houston to be able to do this.
I love that. Even still, like you're just learning and taking opportunity and going on with the seasons. You knew that like you didn't take okay for someone to move from Denver to Texas. That's a huge number one.
So
That's a huge
I moved
shock.
from Arizona, and then
Oh, from
Jane told me, "Hey, if you're gonna do this, let's do it for real." So I packed up my stuff from Arizona, drove across to Denver with James, 16 hours. Then 7 months later, I get a call from the founder because he's like our mentor, and he's like, "Hey, help me out." And 7 months later, from living in Denver, I move out to Houston so that I could.
I love that. Even your journey, it's like, you start off doing one thing, end up James doing his own thing. God brought you guys together, and even still, you are inserting yourself into different parts of the industry just to learn more. And I love that because there's so much that you can do with the knowledge that you're gaining from working with your mentor. Like you said, figuring out new problems that people have within the industry that you can help solve.
100%. It's a bigger play for everybody. So, like in the beginning, there's one thing I do have, and that's time. So when you
Hmm.
start, you exchange time for money. So it's just that. So if anybody's new, sorry, you have to exchange time for money. There's no way out of it. You don't have anything else. Then it's skill for money. It's time for money. Then you get skill for money. Now I can delegate. Now I can 40 weeks I can run 3 companies. All right, in 40
Hmm.
hours. Sorry. Okay. Now I got skill for money. Then you got money for money, right? So time for money, skill for money. Then I use my own money to make me back my money without me having to sacrifice time or skill. Then after that,
Hmm.
you exchange money for time. Now my money is working for my own money, and now I can use that money to not have to work, to not have to sacrifice anything else. And now
Beautiful.
that little scale right there, man. Oh man, it stays in your hand, and you're like, which one am I not? I'm like, damn it, I'm still at skill for money. Damn it. And then I'm still in skill for money right now. Eventually, I want to bring the money, spread the money, have it come back, right?
Yeah, that is definitely the goal. So we touched on self-development. In the previous episode, we talked about the business that helps generate the leads. We talked about use source.
Yeah.
Okay. And power placing.
Hmm.
What can anybody expect that is interested in attending Cleaning Profits? I'm definitely going to be making it this year. Like I said, I have, and I told James this yesterday, I had over the last couple of few months, I've had at least 5 or 6 people tell me about the event that you guys had, or I was in a room where they were telling a story about the event that you guys threw. And shout out to Jody because she definitely sold me. Her and Jean Marie, both of
Okay.
them.
Yeah, no,
I
I know Jean Marie has her ticket.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. Me and Jody are definitely getting our tickets
Good.
within the next 5 days. But yeah, they were just telling me just like if I don't go out
Let me
to
put it in my
any.
calendar real quick. And let's
Oh
tell
yeah, no, it's
I'm
actually in
just
there.
kidding.
It's in there. They have your event in there. Put that
Yeah.
in my calendar last night, even though it's all the way out. But she was just telling me like if I don't go to any other cleaning event, networking event this year, like I have to make it Cleaning Profit. And then obviously I've been on the website. I see the videos that you guys posted after the last event. I saw people working out. I saw people crying. I saw prayer circles. I mean, it was like to me, it looks more like almost like a retreat of some sort.
100%.
So if you could tell anybody that's listening, because we have a ton of cleaning business owners that are always asking about the different events that are going on. If you can tell us a little bit about your event and how it's different from the other events that they possibly have been to, because we've
Uh,
all been to the events where we learn about bidding, we learn about maybe it's operations or something like that. But I know you guys are more focused on the growth.
yeah, so I think you brought up a few points. First things first, thank you, Jody. Thank you, Jean Marie. We get to take the line at Yano now on the event. I'm confident you won't regret it. No, listen, I think I've been part of events, and I think people see events how they want to see it. And so let me explain why. There's a lot of people that see it for status. I put it together, boom, right? There's other people that create events so that you can recognize who they are. That's fair. I'm not gonna say we didn't start our first event so that people knew who we were. We had to. There was no way
Right.
out of it, right? But we put our money where our mouth is. If you know how much money we invested into it, to get people that you guys haven't heard before, that's the important part. Every year we introduce somebody that you won't get access to unless you go to this crazy high-priced entrepreneur event because they
Mm-hmm.
speak there, right? Like the amount of negotiations that I have to have myself with big speakers because that's what I want is crazy. Like if I showed you, and I do a lot of research. So what we do is I don't have like a bunch of speakers. I don't like noise. I hate noise. Me personally, I don't like noise.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can go on YouTube and learn directly on how to build and get a
Right.
software to build. I can go to my own community and learn these things. But again, if I truly believe in the three things, which is God, that my business will never outgrow me, right? And that if I change the way I look at things, that the things I look at change. Those three things. If I could get somebody to look at their business different, to grow themselves differently, and to get closer to God, I did. I did my ministry in this world. And again, we had somebody ask me last time at the event where I did like a networking thing, and he's like, "Hey man, you're really dropping God," and I'm like, "Yes, I am." And he's like, "What about the non-believers?" And I'm like, "They can come," and I like it's not a faith event, like I
Right.
always drop God. But at the end of the day, man, think about it. Like really sit down and think about it, and tell me in whose logic as planned, Angel and James would be throwing an event for 100 executives in the commercial cleaning industry with the average company being 8 million. Doesn't make any sense. There's no logical sense. And that's where James comes in and he says this quote where it says, all illogical moments lead to logical fate. And that event is so illogical. We shouldn't be where we're at. We shouldn't be impacting the people that we have, but God gave us a specific gift. And that specific gift is to challenge people, to bring people closer. And let's be honest, we got the skill to make money. So I'm going to use my money to bring people together. Right. And so what they can expect is intentionality from the host, and not intentionality to make myself look good. Intentionality, like I go one by one. Like I'm going to send you a picture when I get to my car. Like I wish I could just run like in a selfie right now in my car. In my car in the middle, there's no cards. Right. Those note cards, they wrote them in the event. You can ask anybody. When we start an event, they write what they want to get out, and what they're struggling. I carry those note cards with me every single day in my Toyota 4Runner. Ooh, it's a new one. And I read them. So I grab them and I just go through them. I did that the first day of the event. When they did it, we all sat down. Usually people go to bed because the events are very tiring. We grabbed those and we went one by one and we typed them out and we read them all. We prayed over those things and then we said, okay, how do I make sure that we can do this? And so what we did is we actually went, okay, James, you're an expert here. Sophia was helping us. Sophia, you got this. I got this. I'm going to connect them too. And we did this for 100 people. And so when we go back the next day, we're like, Caroline, you said you were struggling with, I'm going to make Sophia self-confidence.
Yeah.
I don't know. Cool. Hey, let's take 5 minutes real quick. I want to talk with you. Hey, you said you needed this. Did you meet this marketer? No? Okay, got it. That, and because we're not there to present. We're there for you to feel our presence. Two different things. Most events, they bring people to what? To present. Here's how you do this. Here's how you do this. We have speakers, of course, but with every speaker, it's how do they feel you're present? How does a CEO that we're going to have that has over 1,500 employees, right? What is his presence when she shows up in a room? And how can you mimic a little bit of it, right? How can I inject a little bit of that faith-based presence? How can I inject a little bit of that speed, intensity that I ran into? How can James inject that side of a father that will never sacrifice his family or time with his kids a little bit to the father in there? That's what makes us different in our event. And every speaker understands that. And they understand. We sit one-on-one with them and we tell them, hey, this is the mission. This is what we're doing. This is not about you. This has never been about you. This is about the people attend. And so that's what makes us different, to be honest. I don't want to tell them what to expect as far as like schedule. There's a reason I never release like agenda with speaker names, because then people get to cherry pick who they want to see, when, and why, instead of understanding why they're there. And if they allow us, if they surrender to the event, we take them through an experience that from the kickoff to the end, they will not. I always say my goal is to break your brain apart, fill gaps in between, and then you have to go home and piece it together. And that's the only way things grow, right? Like a muscle. You gotta pull it apart, you gotta let the protein go in there, and boom, you get bigger. I'm not there to tell people what they want to hear. I'm there to break their patterns, their beliefs, and challenge the hell out of them so that they can go, holy shit, what the? I questioned my whole life, and then boom, the caps come in, and now they're like, oh, I'm so clear. So, anyways.
No, that sounds awesome. It sounds intense. It sounds like something that we definitely should all be attending. So what are the dates? Where is this located? Of course, we're gonna put the link for the event in the description of the video. But yeah, about how far are we looking? How many days is this, and where is it located?
September 24th to the 26th in Denver, Colorado. You're like, what? 8 months in advance? What the hell? I've had the speakers for a month already. We work as soon as we end the event, we get to work the next week, right?
No, that's awesome.
So September 24th to 26th, Denver, Colorado. There's early bird tickets still. I believe we're gonna give you a code, Caroline. Drop the
I
code.
already got
Oh, you already have it?
it.
Yeah, drop the code. Type her code in there. Anybody that uses her code will actually also be entered into a special gift that we can't tell you what it is.
Oh, that's
And so make
awesome.
sure that if you buy it, you put that promo code because you'll qualify for a special code.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you guys are going to go, make sure to use the code that I'm going to provide at the bottom because you guys will be entered into a raffle, which is exciting.
A special gift, 100%. And
And
we'll know
listen, you
who
guys,
wins.
I have heard literally nothing but great things about the event. And like I said, it's literally from the friends that I talk to, associates within the cleaning industry, people on all different levels as well. You guys, we have people
Yep.
that have been in the industry for a year, people that have just started 5 years, 25 years, people making multi-millions, all different levels. There is room for growth, of course, and you guys should definitely make sure to make it out to this event. I'll definitely be there.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. I'm excited to attend. And like I said, it was all the content that you guys shared from the last event was really awesome.
Well,
Also,
listen, we get inspired by Proverbs 13:20, which is the wise walk with the wise. Like walk with the wise and you shall be wise yourself, walk with fools, right? And then your life will not be good. Obviously, that's not the actual scripture, but that's what we say. Like everyone that comes understands that you're gonna walk in unison with somebody that is there to prophesy the same thing that we want, which is you can have exactly what you want from your commercial cleaning business without sacrificing your health, wealth, relationship, right? And so it's gonna be a great time. With that being said, like I'm not a big like let me promote myself type of guy, right? So I just wanna say like whoever's listening, like thank you. And the reason we have the price that we have, we're not the cheapest event. I'm pretty confident we're the most expensive. Is because the first time that I went to an event, Caroline, I was like a cold caller at a call center in El Paso, Texas, and this random guy messages me and he's like, "Hey man, you should come out to my event in San Diego." San Diego's expensive, and I'm like,
right.
"What are you talking about?" And then he's like, "Yeah, it's an entrepreneur event. It's called the $1 Billion Brotherhood, the one that I was mentioning now, Kings." And I was in such a weird moment in my life where I'm like, I can't. This is not supposed to be my life. I'm making like 25K a year. And just to be very, very clear, this was about 5 years ago. That makes sense. I'm like, what is going on here? This is not it. And then, or 6 years ago. And then he's like, man, you should come out. And I had just finished paying off my credit card. I have my Southwest credit card. I still have it. And he goes, I'm like, how much is it? He's like, $780 something for the GA. I'm like, damn it. And then I'm like, I look at flights and I look at San Diego stay. I'm like, bro, this is like running me like 2,000. And I'm like, man, I don't have the money. He's like, do you have a credit card? He's like pushing. I'm like, damn, okay. I do have a credit card, but I just paid it off. And I'm making 25K. Like, do you understand how hard it is to get 3K with 25K in salary? And he goes, will your life be better off by not taking on debt to stay where you're at, or maximize your credit card to get that one idea or that one thing that you made? And he just asked me that question. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. And I wasn't even close to God or anything. Just run my card. I'm like, hell. And I start reading his book on the plane, and he says that there's only a group of lions that can hunt hippopotamus. There's only one group of lions. They're in Africa and they run together, so together they can kill a hippo. And no other place can they do that. So I realized, oh shoot, in the airplane, I'm like, I need to be on VIP now. I gotta be with the lions if I want to kill the hippo. So I run my card again. Now I'm officially like 3 out of 3K. I'm all in. And then I get there. Long story short, recently I was a groomsman in one of the brothers that I met there. That we all went to Hawaii. Everyone's making a lot of money now. We're running King's Brotherhood. We make money like out of the businesses. That's where I learned about entrepreneurship. And that's where I met God. And so I was like, but if I can recreate this event in the space where people can meet God and like develop themselves to a different level, where they don't see themselves no longer as a cold caller, but rather the entrepreneur, right? I had a bunch of failures afterwards, but now we're here. So
6 years later.
Exactly.
6 years later, you do not regret maxing out that credit card. Am I right?
100%. Now I don't have any credit card debt. Right, so it's putting yourself in an uncomfortable situation. I hate when people say like, no, it has to feel good when you buy it. No, it doesn't. That's not a rule. It has to hurt. Because when something hurts, what do? You try to fix it. You do something to do something about it. It hurts. If something feels good, you stay there doing the same thing over and over. And so I want it to hurt and sting a little bit,
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I've yet to go to an event that I've invested in myself within the industry that I've regretted. Even
Sure.
like in the beginning, same thing. I would have to put on credit cards and I felt the same way. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like $500 for a ticket. I don't even know what this is about. And then same thing, you start adding up. But like I said, never regretted it. Every time I've gotten home off the plane from one of these events, and it has never been on a scale like yours. And I'm motivated. I'm ready to go. So
Let's go.
I can't agree with you more. Let's go, you guys.
No,
No
I'm about to buy a ticket
excuses.
to my own event. I'm not even.
You know,
I'm just kidding. No,
I
for those
got.
listening though, yeah, really go. Put your code. You have to. You have to. I promise
Come
you. You
on,
guys can
dude. Yeah,
challenge
come
me,
out here.
and if you hate it, I will literally send it from my own money. Like I promise you that it will not be it.
I heard so many good things, you guys. Make sure to go check out the website. Angel, where can we find you? Of course, I'm going to link everything in the description of this video for you guys. Where are you most active? Where can you be
Everywhere.
found?
LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Angel Sandoval, Angel
Awesome. And of
Sandoval.
course, make sure to give their YouTube a follow, a like, a subscription, as well as their podcast, which you can find on all platforms. They have a really amazing lineup of guests and really great stories that any entrepreneur should really tap in and listen to. Angel, again, thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, I'm excited to see you in September.
You got it. If you guys got anything out of it, send me a message. I want to hear it. That's what gets us fit. It's your transformation and your takeaway. Thanks so much, Caroline.
Oh, you're welcome. And drop down in the chat, Team Angel.
Exactly. So I can tell James, this is it, brother. I'm the one right here.
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
You got it. Thank you.